All right, here we go. Let's start this thing off. Okay, let's play some Fried Fox Defense type chess, right? Never hurt nobody. Well, actually it has, but okay. F6, King F7. I'm going to continue here with G6. E6 is usually what you play first. But okay, I mean, it's going to move like Bishop G7 in there. Bishop T3, I think in that case, we can play something like Knight E7. Oftentimes, the Fried Fox Defense, if you just kind of play it like a hippo, it's somehow not that bad much of the time. Creating this 4-pawn wall is important as well, just in case E5 is ever played. You have F5 options available, to say the least. A quick move here like Rook F8 never hurts either. Getting that king back to G8. White wants to play something like E5 at any point. Okay, we have F5 ready to go now. King G8. We'll fianchetto our bishop on B7, and all of a sudden we have a playable game of chess, right? So King H1, that's even more so, making me want to fianchetto my bishop there. Attacking that pawn on G2. F3 is played. I think in that case I can just play this move G5. Whole idea being that this knight is trapped on H4. This knight now having nowhere to go at the moment. We'll see what our guy Raul Zek comes up with right now. But yeah, Fried Fox Defense, actually not too bad. If you can get an F6, King F7, G6, E6, fianchetto your bishop, Knight E7, get the king out, get the king over to G8, you should be in business. G4, okay, so I could take this. I mean, you can't take back because it's simply a pin. Of course, okay, I mean, something like Knight E4 could be played. So I'm thinking about just taking the knight, honestly. You know what the heck, just take the pawn. I'm sure the computer likes this move. Take the pawn. You can't take back because it's pinned. White can always play something like bishop E4 or something. Knight G2 is played. In that case, we can simply snatch off that pawn. So we're up 2 pawns now. We are forking both the knight and the queen, but this pawn was pinned. Now it's not, but in that case, we do have the option of taking the rook. Of course, if queen takes, then we're just in check, and then we lose the rook. So now I'm trying to reassess this position, see what we got going. I mean, if I take the rook, queen back, king. If you win my rook on A8, I don't quite have a mate in one because of this bishop on D3. Yeah, and if I play this king back, I'm just up a pawn, right? But I'm trying to see if there's any kind of cute tricks here that I can use to get a one game. I'm not really seeing any huge breakthroughs at the moment. So yeah, I might just have to. I mean, another option is try to trap the queen, right, with the move like Knight C6. But okay, I think I'm just going to play King G8 here. Prepared to take back with my queen. That bishop on B7 is very active here. Looking back, I probably should have just took that knight off the board, right? But okay, I mean, we get 2 pawns out of the deal. He gets 1 pawn back. We have an active game. You keep moving. It's either white's going to have to take this rook off, run away with the rook, or block, right? Because white doesn't, or with the bishop, right? Because white doesn't want to just lose that rook on F3 for no good reason. Bishop E4, I think I'm just going to continue Knight C6, eyeing the squares of D4, and really the pawns of D4 and E5, both centralized pawns in that position there. Yeah, we'll see what white comes up with here. Our guy Raul. I mean, okay, Knight E3 is played. In that case, I'm glad to take on D4. Look, you can take the bishop. I'm totally cool with that. I'm attacking the queen, the rook, and the bishop. I'm gonna win material here, one way or the other. Yeah, there's just so much hanging here. Yeah, I don't see any way for white to get out of this easily. Even if white takes the rook on F8, I mean, that does get rid of the knight takes F3 idea, but I just take back with the queen, and I'm still attacking the queen on E2 and the bishop on E4 as well. So Yeah, that should be okay here. I'll pre-move there. Queen takes f8. And yeah, keep this game rolling. My guy Raul. Yeah, hopefully we can get some more. I'm hoping to make this more of a consistent thing. This is really the first time I've tried it. Just going online and playing subs. And yeah, just seeing what kind of games we get. I think, for myself, and I think just for the viewers, I think it'll be fun for me to kind of play some crazy openings, Bomb Cloud, Crab, Hippopotamus, Fried Fox Defense, etc., etc., etc. Throw on some Ponziani in there, and get it rolling in that sense. I just see what kind of games that we can get out of that. Queen D3 is played. Yeah, that doesn't really it threatens my knight, obviously. But yeah, nothing too urgent there on my end of things. I'm thinking about maybe knight c6. Knight f5 doesn't work, obviously, because the bishop. I could just take this bishop as well. I might just do that. I'm up material here. Why not just start trading down, right? Queen takes. I always have queen f3, ready to just trade down queens as well. Knight takes. I got queen f3 and then rook f8 on the way. Maybe actually queen f3, knight e2 in that case, because the knight won't be defending that e2 square any longer. So yeah, queen takes back. I think that's the best move for white. In that case, I'll just start to trade down because I'm up 2 points of material, up 2 pawns. This pawn on e5 is now going to drop, and this pawn on c4 is also going to be a big weakness. Notice as well, my pawn structure is pretty solid at this point. I really don't have many weaknesses to speak of. Potentially a move like knight b5, could be interesting, attacking the pawn on c7, as well as the pawn on a7. But okay, I should be all right here. Knight g4, take the pawn on e5. Yeah, just take it back with the bishop here. Knight e4. Let's continue now with d5. Just attack that knight. Capture back. Yeah, and we just have a one game here. Knight f2. Slide the rook over. Bishop e3. We'll do that. Now this bishop has nowhere to go unless they want to lose the knight. Knight g4. In that case, I'll just take and play e2. With rook f1 ideas in the air. Knight g4 takes on e5, e2. Okay, and there we go. There we have it. Let me see. I just had a challenge from. There we go. Andrea. Okay, let's keep it rolling, guys. Fried Fox Defense, or in this case, Fried Fox Attack Chess, f3, right? King f2. This is also considered the Bomb Cloud much of the time. I personally consider a true Bomb Cloud opening to be e4 and then king e2, or e5, king e7. But to each his own. This could be considered a Bomb Cloud as well. But I think for myself, this fits more of a Fried Fox Defense type game. My opponent here, Andre, very strong, 2200. So, okay, maybe this wasn't the way to go, right? Playing the Fried Fox Defense against a 2200. I don't recommend it. Okay, I'm just throwing that out there. But here we go. Okay, bishop f5. I'm going to continue now with knight e2. h3, make sure my bases are covered just in case e4 is played. I got f4 ready to go as always. Knight d7, let's just play b3, start to fiend shadow that bishop, put some pressure on the center. Bishop b2. So we got a 3+0 game here, so a much quicker pace than the last game we had. d4 is interesting. I'll just probably play d3 though, continue this pawn wall. Knight d2. G5 is played. In that case, let's just play e4, kind of lock down that bishop and the queen on c7 as well. Of course, checks could always come into play here, but at the moment, they're not going to have any chances against the pawn on g3. This bishop just drops back. Good move there from black. Okay, and now I'm playing a Fried Fox, and this is not good. Okay, king g1. I got to get my king over to h2 if I can. Yeah, because black's looking at ideas like, you know, a check, breaking this game open by taking the pawn on e4. So I got to get my king. I got to get my king over to safety instead of a kind of an awkward square like f1 or e1. Rook g6. So here black making it clear they're looking at ideas like, you know, rook h6 and attacking my pawn on h3. I think in that case, I mean, I do have g4, but h5 could be played. Let's see. A3 could be played here. A3 is an option for sure. Could play c4 as well. There's a lot of options here. I'm not seeing any move that's just the clear best. Because rook g6, they have h5 options as well. Very nice play here from black so far. Kind of putting me in a little bit of a pickle, in all honesty. I'll play knight f1. Just kind of a waiting move. Not really doing anything at all, but just defending that pawn more, which isn't even attacked. But okay, I'm just trying to get my knight closer to my king here. King h2 ideas in the air. Potentially knight e3. I'm a little bit worried about it getting pinned at the moment, however. Which wouldn't be good, obviously, against my king on g1. So let's see, rook g8. Okay, I could play g4. I really could. But I'm not going to. Let's play... Nope, can't play d4 either. Just play a3. I only have 48 seconds left, so I gotta hurry up here. Stop talking so much. Knight h5. Okay, I'll play g4 now, attacking that knight. See what black comes up with. Knight f4, I might just have to take it off, honestly. Yeah, take that thing off. Knight h2. Trying to give my king some breathing room. I wanted to play king h2, but they, you know, black really set up this h5 idea well. So I got to defend this pawn g4, give that king some breathing room. f5 is played. Wow. Okay, I'm going to take back. Play move like queen e2. I just got to hold the fort here. Obviously, if I take, I lose this bishop on g2, which is disastrous for white. So, okay, h5 is played. We'll play rook e1. Trying to put some pressure on e5. Of course, right now it's very well defended. Take back. King f1 is probably the way to go here. Of course, knight h5 is going to be played probably. Even then, I'm going to go up material if that happens, but, well, not necessarily. I'm trying to think. I mean, I guess technically I would 2 rooks for a queen, but okay. I mean, then they have a queen and I don't. We don't see that though. Bishop e6. Okay, in that case, I'm just going to take off that pawn. Pre-move there. See what black comes up with. My guy Andre. Okay, I'll take back. Let's see. Queen e5 is probably going to be the move here no matter what. Queen e5. Okay, queen captures. Rook a1. Queen c5 could be played. Okay, we don't see that though. So we see there, I'm going to take on a7. I'm going to move my king up. Knight there, rook back. Knight f1. Rook up. King back. Pawn up. Pawn up. There. Okay, so obviously I'm fumbling this position a little bit. Rook e5. Takes. Boom. Boom. Ah. Okay, so I ended up losing this one, guys. Unless some kind of miracle happens, but I don't see it. Ah. Rook e2. Nice. Little check there. Fried Fox defense didn't quite hold up, but let's keep it rolling. Okay, we got your Billy coming up here. Okay, let's throw in another Fried Fox. See how it goes. I'm just going to pre-move to f6. F4. So guys, if you know Billy, he's been on the channel for quite a while. Yeah, my guy Billy, big fan of the birds opening. Every single birds opening video he's commented on, and he's given me feedback, which has been great. Has really helped me, improve that side of my content. Knight f3 here, e6. Bishop c4, okay, that's interesting. In this case, I do have d5 options available. I'm going to wait 1 second to play that at least. I can still play d5 here. But okay, I'm going to continue to wait. g6, maybe play h6 first. Of course, d4. So now d5 options are available. So I think I got to get in this d5 move right now myself before white's able to play that. Got to attack that bishop. See what white comes up with here. Okay, bishop b3 from Billy. Let's see. I could just take that pawn. Yeah, I'll just take it. Knight e5 takes, check. Knight f5, I'm fine. Knight e2, thank you for the pawn. Knight e1, I have a pawn on e4. I'm not going to sit here and say that this is winning for black because it is the Fried Fox defense. I mean, let's just keep it blunt here. But I do like this game at the moment. I'm looking at h5, h4, knight f5, knight g3 check ideas against that king if it does move. Obviously here, if you do play rook f2, I have e3, attacking both the rook and the knight on d2 as well. Okay, there we go. We got a game. Let's see what else we got here. He says he'll get, okay. Let's go with one last, let's get one last Fried Fox defense game in this thing. Let's play f3. King f2 next. See how it goes. Okay, d5. e3. Knight e2 probably next. Bishop c5. I always have d4 ideas available. But we don't see that. We see knight c6. I'll play g3. Really, a move like e4 here is dangerous for black. I mean, really, I think if you see the Fried Fox defense, you gotta push some pawns up really quickly and just try to disrupt the structure. Because if you give the opponent too much time, they can actually get a somewhat solid setup, right? So, okay, I mean, here we do see black really pushing hard with g5 and h5. We'll see if they make a break here at any point. Bishop g7. Okay, I mean, in that case, d4 is definitely an option. Probably just played b3 though. g4 is seen on the board. I will now take back. Take on h8 with check. Let's see, bishop captures back. The problem is I want to play f4, but black then has captures followed by knight e4 check, and I'm probably just going to go with some material there, honestly. But, it looks like an interesting game. So I'm going to go for it. I'm going to play f4. You can take and then play knight e4 check and simply win my rook. But, okay, I get one of your pieces. I'm going to get a pawn in return. So I'm going to have a piece and a pawn for a rook. On top of that, I'm going to have queen h1 ideas available against this king on e8. And all of a sudden, I'm the one that potentially has attacking chances here if knight e4 is played. So I'm actually okay with going into this. Notice g4 is still not going to be open because of this bishop on c8, but I do have queen h1 ideas available. It looks like what I was saying is going to happen. So okay, we take on e4. We're going to lose our rook, but we're going to get that pawn on d5 in return, right? So unless they decide to take on e4, in which case, okay, I mean, we're just sitting at even material, and we managed to get out the opening alive. That's exactly what we see. Knight c3 is not available at the moment, because if you take on c3, capture back, I just lose the queen now, and that's not fun for anybody. Well, I guess it's fun for black, but okay. Takes on e4. I mean, I'm not really seeing anything else besides just the move c3, right? Kind of ugly, but sometimes in chess you do what you gotta do. So yeah, my guy just asked, what is this opening? This is the Fried Fox defense, and it's absolutely terrible. Okay, no way around that. Don't recommend you playing f3 and king f2, or f6 and king f7 at any point in your life, but here I am playing it, so I guess I can't really, walk the walk in that case, in that sense. c3, okay, knight e5 is played. This knight is a monster on e5. Goodness gracious. I hate that knight. Wow. Okay. A couple approaches here. I could play knight a3, knight c4, or bishop b2, c4. I'm just gonna, well, okay, bishop b2, queen f6, threatens knight d3, king g2, knight d3, can then capture back. I could also play this move queen h1, potentially. Runs into queen f6, obviously. Okay, I'm just going to play bishop e2 here. It seems like a natural option. Knight d3 doesn't win anything here because I can just capture back. I do got to be careful about queen f6 ideas. I got to get my king the heck out of the way before a move like knight d3 happens at that point, because my knight would be pinned on f4. So yeah, again, got to get my king out. Cannot allow knight d3 with check. Let's see. I mean, I'm assuming black's going to try to castle queenside here. We'll see what they come up with. Bishop d7, maybe? I don't know. You can always just throw a knight into f3. It's very annoying. But okay, we see the move bishop d7. I'm going to continue now with c4, right? Just trying to kind of pin that knight to the queen on f6. I have knight d5 options available now against the queen as well. Yeah, castle on queenside. I'm going to play knight c3 now, looking at knight d5. Attacking that queen on f6. You know, just trying to put some pressure on those dark squares, honestly. Okay, so nice move there. Bishop c6. So if I play that takes queen f3 check, I don't like that. I just don't. I don't like it. I don't like it. So maybe queen e2, knight f3. I don't like that either. I don't like anything at the moment. You know, I could just take back with the pawn though. I'm just gonna do that. Knight d5. Pre-move with the pawn. That way a queen f3 check idea can't be played, because I don't want to allow a queen on f3. The whole idea being, if I take on f3, they take back with the pawn. They have a protected passed pawn on the third rank, and with a knight supporting it, attacking squares like d3, g4. That is just not good news for me. There's no way around that. So I'm not going to let it happen. I can't really stop knight f3 from happening at some point, but I can prevent it at the moment, right? Because this bishop is pinning it to the queen on f6. And I can always just take that knight off if I need to. Obviously, if this queen gets out of the way, it would allow the bishop to capture back on e5, which is not necessarily what I want in every situation. But it really just depends where this queen goes. Because, I mean, at the moment, this knight is defending the pawn on g4, right? So if I can take that knight out and then win that pawn on g4, I'll be in business. Checking that king on c8. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. So take that knight. Okay, bishop captures back. I will throw in a little Chekarunsky against that king. Okay, at this point... Decisions. My rook's being attacked. If I play rook f1, they have captures followed by captures. And this pawn on g2 is going to be under fire. But okay, I'm willing to do that. I'm going to defend that knight, which is defending the pawn on d5, by the way. Pre-move with the queen. See where that goes. Okay, so queen captures back. I'm going to play rook f2. Make sure my bases are covered, and then at this point, attack the square on f7 and the square and the pawn on e4 as well. See where this takes us. Okay, rook d7. Let's see. Queen g4 could be played. I mean, what am I really threatening though, right? Just kind of a cheap back rank mate threat. I mean, it's all right, but yeah, we're sitting at even material as well, so it's not like I can just give up a pawn and then call it good. I could play queen f5, but okay, I mean, check. Rook, it doesn't work either. King h3 is interesting. but not great. We're kind of at a standstill, honestly, at this point. I'm just going to play a move like queen f6. Kind of just throw my queen in there, see what my opponent does. I'm not really seeing any easy way to make progress at the moment, specifically with my king being on g2. Maybe bring it back to g1. See what that does, right? That way, you know, queen trade ideas will be available without me getting some kind of check on d2 against my king. Now my king, you know, black can take off any rook, any pawn they want with the rook. I'm not going to get checked, right? So that's definitely a plus for me. The king goes up. Okay, I'm going to play queen d4 with check. Take on f7. Take on c7. I got rook e7 here against that pawn. And now king f2. So I'm going to win this pawn back. And now I have a pawn on g3, which is very strong. Okay, in that case, I think he slipped there. Take the pawn, and we're off to the races. All right, y'all. On to the next one. So we got my guy... let's see, How to Pro. Let's see. Sorry, my computer's loading for a second. Okay, it looks like that game didn't finish quite yet, so I overstepped. Okay. Let's go to Profile, Games. Okay, let's keep it rolling. How So Pro. We'll get one last... we'll continue with one more. One more Fried Fox, f3, and then king f2, and see where this leads us. My guy How So Pro. Okay, knight f6, attacking e4 and g4 as well. I'll play e3 now. Okay, e5, 92. Okay, in that case, I'll play d4 immediately because I'm feeling bold. Capture back against that bishop. d4 may have been a little bit premature, but, you know, I do think this is playable for white. c4, I mean, if you want to play d5, I have c5. If you want to play c5, I have d5 now. And all of a sudden my king is somewhat safe in this position because the pawn on f3. I have knight c3 now. g3, bishop g2, h3, get this king to a more castled looking position. And okay, you know the deal at this point. Okay, rook e8, I'll play h3. Maybe rook e1 here, right? Why not just open, you know, fight for the open file as well if you can. Yeah, start developing our pieces. Bishop g5 is interesting, forcing off a trade with the knight. I'll probably choose to go with a move like bishop f4, though, depending on what black does. Queen d7. So here black trying to put some pressure on h3. I think in that case, I'll just play this move g4, right? Just attacking the bishop. You know, if you want to trade off all your pieces, sacrifice all your pieces really for those pawns, I'm cool with that. My king's going to be okay. And if you don't, like a move like bishop g6, we have some options here. We have some options. I think in this case, I actually will play bishop g5 because this knight is only defended by the pawn. So if I can take on f6, black is going to have double isolated and isolated pawns. So now we see this move of bishop d8, bringing this bishop back to the last rank to defend that knight. And I'm just going to continue to activate my pieces here. You know, before I do that, though, it never hurts to just kind of throw in a little move like king g1, right? Just make the king a little bit safer. h6 is played. Bishop h4. I don't really want to give him my bishop quite yet. I have bishop g3 options available as well. a6, nice move there from black, preventing any kind of knight b5 ideas. I could play knight f4, which is what I'm going to do, attacking the bishop and the rook on e8 as well. Let's see, bishop h7. Okay, takes. Bishop gets activated. Could take on e8 as well, but I'm going to wait a second. If I play queen d2, though, I miss this idea of g5. So maybe I do need to take some more immediate action here somehow. Maybe just play bishop g3. Drop my bishop back. Eyeing the square of d6 at the moment. Okay, b5 is played, so black here trying to, play some hyperdynamic chess against my pawn on c4. Very nice move there from black. But, I think I'm okay here after this move b3, just kind of holding the fort together, right? Sometimes, guys, when your opponent throws your pawns at you, don't just immediately take the pawn off, right? Go, okay, my pawn is being attacked on c4. Is there a pawn that can simply replace the c-pawn? Right now, the answer is yes, right? So black is spending all this time throwing their pawns up on the queen side, and as white, I'm just like, okay, I'll play a move like b3, hold the fort, holding the fort together as long as I can. And if you push too much, all of a sudden, I'm going to have an option such as just, taking on b5 at any point. I'm looking at knight takes b5 and then this move of g5 at the moment. But in that case, I do have knight h5 ideas, so I'm okay. Just take the pawn off, and we should be okay. I can always trade off if I'd like to. Knight a6 is played. Yeah, let's just play some solid looking chess. Queen d2. That never hurts to connect the rooks. In fact, my old chess coach Eric Schiller said that the third step in the chess opening is to connect the rooks. Make sure that the rooks can see each other. It's just a general good role to develop your pieces. Let's see, let's play a3. Get this knight the heck out of here. Or at least try to. I mean, black does have some ideas like g5. Taking on d5 doesn't work because I just take back with my knight on f4. If you want to take there, I'm going to take back with the rook. Taking over that file. Rook e8 ideas in the air. Depending on where that queen and that knight goes. Knight a6. Okay, so here I'm just up a pawn. That being said, though, how do I break through, right? That's always the question. I know I'm good, but how do I win this, right? So I think the answer here is just keep slowly improving the positioning of our pieces, right? How can I improve the positioning of my pieces? My rook on e1 is very solid. My queen on d2, it's not a bad piece, but it could be better, right? So I'm looking at ideas here like a move like queen e2. And yeah, I think I'm going to go with that. Queen e2. I'm not worried about rook e8 ideas at the moment. If this bishop ever moves, I have queen e7 options in the air, taking a hold of that 7th rank. In fact, at the moment, I'm looking at knight takes d6 ideas. Of course, it doesn't quite work because queen takes d6, queen e8. You can simply win my queen, and the queen comes to the rescue as it's on d6. But, okay. Never hurts to just put a little bit of pressure on black there. See what they come up with in a position like this. Okay, knight c7, interesting. Knight c7, black here, offering up a trade. I think in that case, probably just defend the knight, right? Defend the knight. You want to take my knight off, that's fine. I'm going to get a protected pass pawn on b5. I want to play a4. I can slide my rook back to a1. Whole idea being, look, you're putting pressure on b3. I'm not going to freak out and take your pawn right away. I'm just going to pin the pawn to your rook on a8. Whole idea being, if you take, I win your rook. And if you don't take, all of a sudden, I'm able to take on a4, potentially, and have 2 pass pawns instead of 1. So we see this move a3 now from black, saving their pawn. Nice move from black. I'm thinking of, okay, so this pawn can be a strength or a weakness, right? Depending on how it goes. My job here is to try to make it a weakness. So how can I do this? It's a hard pawn to attack, right? In all honesty, this bishop could try to get into the action, but that's going to take a little bit. But, I'm okay with that. Move like bishop f2. See if I can, nozzle my bishop in there eventually against that pawn. Black can't really advance it at the moment. Okay, 98, bishop e3. I've been talking too much. Here I'm running out of time. Bishop f6. Okay, that is an idea I did not see because now black has bishop b1. And all of a sudden I'm the one on the ropes here if black ends up finding that move. But they don't, so I'm able to play bishop c1 and not lose my rook, but now just, look to capture off that pawn on a3. As Yeah, I mean, bishop e1, black's definitely better there. I'm not going to say it's winning for black, but it's definitely better. But okay, we move on. Bishop g5. Okay, knight d3. Offering up a trade there. Let's see. This pawn a3 is a pain in the freaking position. F4. I want to play f5. Just get that bishop to just go in its little corner there. Or just run away somewhere at least. Goodness. Okay, knight d3. I want to get my knight into e6. See where that goes. This pawn a3 is currently hanging on a3, which is nice as well. Queen d3. Now if you take, I'm going to take with check against that king on h7. They don't do that though, so okay, I play h4. Let's see, g5. Okay, check against the king. Now I'm just going to win this queen on d7, and okay, I should be able to pull this out. Take on a3. Play rook up. Queen g6. Probably going to check me here. King f2. Probably bishop e4, actually. Bishop e4, and I'm threatening a mate in 1 on h7. King f3. King f4. Black can give up their rook, but they're not going to be in stalemate because of the fact that they can move both these pawns. And okay, there we go. We have ourselves a game.